See you at Tony Roma's. Ribs, seafood, steaks.
On our broadcast here tonight, work with me. That's the message from President Obama to Republicans in Washington today and to the Muslim world in his first interview as president. Now hear this. Tonight we hear Governor Blagojevich on tape, the talk that could lead to his impeachment. Storm warning, a huge winter wallop from Texas to the northeast, ice, snow, and now misery, and more on the way. Health scare, the feds make new charges in the investigation into where the peanut contamination is coming from. And full house, all the joys and challenges of a new baby times 8. The latest tonight on those newborn octuplets. Also this evening, a towering American storyteller is gone. Nightly News begins now.
From NBC News World Headquarters in New York, this is NBC Nightly News with Brian Williams.
Good evening. It's a very simple equation as the White House sees it. It's going to take a lot of money to put people back to work and fix this economy, which by all accounts is getting worse with each passing day. And the president's going to need a lot of support from the people, the Congress, and the Republican Party if it's going to be done right. So today, he went to them. That is where we begin tonight with our chief White House correspondent, Chuck Todd. Chuck, good evening.
Good evening, Brian. Well, ending his first week in Washington, President Obama used his fight to pass the economic stimulus plan as a way to showcase another campaign promise, and that is changing the tone in Washington. So anxious to appear bipartisan, President Obama drove through snow-covered Washington for his first Capitol Hill meetings as president, not to meet with his own party, but with Republicans.
I don't expect 100% agreement from my Republican colleagues, but I do hope that we can all put politics aside and do the American people's business right now.
But before the president arrived to meet with the House Republicans, news leaked that the top two leaders were already publicly against Obama's $825 billion economic stimulus plan.
I'll leave it aside that some members of the leadership invited the president to come up and announce their position on the bill before he got there.
Hello, everybody.
House Republicans used their time with the president to complain about how they've been treated by House Democrats.
But as grateful as we are for the president's spirit, as I told him personally, House Democrats have completely ignored the president's call for bipartisan cooperation.
The president's meeting with Senate Republicans was less pointed and focused as much about future fixes to the economy, including the bailout for the financial industry, as well as help for struggling homeowners.
We're still going to have much better financial regulation. We've got to get credit flowing again. We're going to have to deal with the troubled assets that many banks are still carrying.
Okay, Brian, here's where things stand. Number one, the House will pass Obama's stimulus plan tomorrow, probably with not a lot of Republican support. The Senate then takes it up, where Republicans will probably get a few amendments in there that'll make it more palatable to some Republicans. But the next two things that are coming have nothing to do with economic stimulus. Senators in that meeting today said they got hints that the president may be coming back for more money, possibly a bailout of the housing industry. More importantly, we've heard from Treasury officials that a plan that may include a so-called bad bank, where the government buys up troubled assets, could get rolled out next week. Brian?
Just when you thought we had enough bad banks. Chuck Todd on a snowy night on the north lawn of the White House. Chuck, thanks. And now we turn to Illinois. And even though Governor Rod Blagojevich is not attending his own impeachment trial, we heard his voice there today nonetheless. Prosecutors played some of their wiretap conversations in an effort to prove what they say is a pattern of abuse of power. Our report from NBC's Lee Cowan.
In a chamber that is supposed to define decorum, the impeachment trial of Illinois Governor Rod Blagojevich
is the governor present?
Is a delicate dance, especially with easels filled with profanity and the House prosecutor reading them out loud. The evidence Blagojevich allegedly tried to sell Barack Obama's Senate seat is limited to what's colorfully written in an FBI affidavit. The actual recordings are being held for the governor's criminal trial. But there are other captured conversations.
At this time, it would be my intention to play the tapes,
which a judge said the prosecutor could play.
Hey, how we doing? Good.
There were a series of brief phone calls, the prosecutor says, shows the governor trying to squeeze campaign cash out of a horse racing mogul. In exchange, the governor would sign legislation favorable to racetracks.
This with the governor's brother, Rob.
Talked to Lon, and he says Johnny Johnson's good for it. Okay.
In a separate call, a lobbyist appears to suggest Blagojevich call the contributor directly.
It's better if you do it just from a pressure point of view. Yeah, good. I'll call him.
All this as the governor continued his round-the-clock media blitz. In a taped appearance for MSNBC's Rachel Maddow show, he came as close as he has to suggesting that he did use his influence in filling Barack Obama's Senate seat.
There are political negotiations and leveraging, which is all very much part of the process.
Only an empty chair remains back home in Illinois to object to the Senate's proceedings. Today's recordings may well be the last time the governor's voice will ever be heard here. Lee Cowan, NBC News, Chicago.
And we have an update tonight on that big winter storm sweeping across this country. It started in the heartland. Tonight it's bearing down on the heavily populated Northeast. It contains rain and snow and ice, lots of it. The Weather Channel's Jim Cantori is in Paducah, Kentucky for us tonight with the latest on what others can expect from this. Jim, good evening.
Good evening, Brian. Every little tree that you see behind me here with all this ice is a ticking time bomb. They've been going off all over the place in 4 states today. Almost 250,000 people without power. Here in western Kentucky and Paducah, we've got a state of emergency on our hands, and it's not over yet. This storm is moving northeast. Look at these advisories. Winter storm warnings all the way up through Maine. And how's this for a slap in the face? People in Shreveport enjoying 70-degree temperatures today. They now have an ice storm warning for tonight. Let's take a look at the next 24 hours. You can see how this storm will still be affecting the heartland and moving on into the northeast. Places like Philadelphia and New York could surpass their biggest storms of the season so far, eventually changing on over to rain. But Brian, long after the snows are gone in the northeast, we will still have many, many people without power here in the heartland. Back to you.
Very big storm to deal with tonight. Jim Cantori in Paducah, thanks. There is news tonight about the most recent food scare in this country, the outbreak of salmonella involving peanut butter and peanut products traced to a single plant in Georgia. Hundreds of people are sick. 8 people are dead. Today, the feds, the Food and Drug Administration, said the plant knowingly sold products it knew could have been contaminated for 2 years. We get the latest now from NBC's Tom Costello.
Today, as more food companies recalled products that contain peanut butter paste, the FDA revealed that at least 12 times over the past 2 years, the Georgia-based Peanut Corporation of America has released products for consumption after they tested positive for salmonella, but then tested negative in a second test. Consumer advocates are outraged.
This kind of lab shopping, where a company can go from lab to lab until they find a negative result and then ship a product that can sicken over 500 people, is absolutely shocking.
The FDA also alleges PCA took no steps to improve the cleaning or manufacturing methods after salmonella was found in its plant, a clear violation of the law. All of this as the government reports a slight drop in the number of new salmonella poisoning cases. So far, 501 people in 43 states and 1 person in Canada have been sickened. Of those, 108 have been hospitalized, 8 have died. Half of those sickened are under the age of 16, with more than 20% under the age of 5. In Vermont, Daryl and Gabrielle Minier believe their son Chris was one of the victims, spending 6 days in the hospital.
It was agonizing. It was scary.
Food health experts say this salmonella outbreak should have been caught long before it was.
Currently, the federal and state programs that exist for foodborne disease detection and for early and rapid investigation are just broken, and we need to get them fixed.
Late this afternoon, the Peanut Corporation of America told NBC News it has cooperated fully with investigators. Meanwhile, the FDA says 180 products have now been recalled. Tom Costello, NBC News, Washington.
We have an awful story out of Los Angeles tonight. It appears to be the result of a job loss. Irvin Lupo had recently been let go from his job at Kaiser Permanente Hospital in West L.A. This morning, he shot and killed his wife and all 5 of his young children before taking his own life. Children reportedly included 2 sets of twins. Police said he left notes behind referring to his work situation. His wife had also lost her job at the same hospital. A Florida financial manager who disappeared almost 2 weeks ago surfaced today and was arrested on fraud charges. It's not the same scale as the Ponzi scheme that Bernie Madoff is accused of running, But investigators say Art Nadel has left a community of investors every bit as devastated. The story from CNBC's Scott Cohn.
Federal authorities say Arthur Nadel's scheme was basic, luring and keeping investors by wildly overstating their returns.
He misled people as to the safety and security and amount of their investments.
But pulling it off wasn't simple at all. Nadel positioned himself at the pinnacle of Sarasota society. He and his wife, Peg, who's not charged with wrongdoing, fixtures on the charity circuit. At the Sarasota Opera House, Nadel's name is still on a plaque in the lobby, recognizing the largest contributors.
It's going to have incredible ramifications, and it's a little frightening.
Larry and Leslie Collier say they lost their entire $400,000 investment, even though their last monthly statement from Nadel in December said they were up for the year.
It's our retirement, our savings, our children's college fund is in there.
Nadel took off last week, authorities say, faking his own suicide after a business partner started asking questions. But according to the complaint, he left behind instructions to his wife on where to move money, quote, if you want to survive this mess. Nadel's attorneys deny he was trying to run away.
He went away for a while just to be alone.
Just the same, no one's taking any chances now. Nadel's being held without bail pending another hearing on Friday. Larry Collier's thankful Nadel didn't commit suicide. Maybe he'll be able to tell authorities where the money is. Then again, Collier says,
when he does die, I hope he gets a job of oiling the hinges to the gates of hell.
If he's convicted, Arthur Nadel, who's 76, could spend the rest of his life in prison. Scott Cohn, CNBC, Sarasota, Florida.
And a follow-up here to a story we told you about last night. Citigroup has decided not to take delivery of that high-end, long-range, $50 million Falcon corporate jet that the bank ordered 2 years ago. A call from the Treasury Department apparently persuaded city officials to reverse themselves. The company has taken $45 billion in taxpayer bailout money. Citi will lose its deposit on the jet, but could get it back when it's sold to somebody else. When our broadcast continues here tonight, doctors going back to the future, and the goal is to keep people out of the emergency room. And in California tonight, an astonishing medical story. 8 infants, 1 mother, everybody's fine.
Headaches know the instant your body is stressed, tired, and running on empty. Tylenol Rapid Release Gels work with your body to silence headache pain fast by releasing medicine fast. So you don't just feel better, you feel better fast.
Lend us your ears, and we'll tell you about a great way to get your veggies. V8 Soups from Campbell's. A full serving of vegetables in a soup so velvety and delicious, you won't be able to contain yourself. Campbell's V8 Soups.
Let's say you spent $100 a week at the supermarket on these kinds of items. If you bought these kinds of groceries at Walmart, you could average over $700 a year. What would you do with all that money? Save money, live better. Walmart.
Are you like me? I have high blood pressure and I have high cholesterol.
But he treats both with one pill.
Catawit makes it easier to manage my 2 conditions. Catawit contains 2 proven medicines, one for lowering high blood pressure, the other for lowering high cholesterol, combined in 1 pill. Catawit. That works for me.
Catawit is one of many treatment options, in addition to diet and exercise that he discussed with his doctor.
Catawit is not for everyone. It's not for people with liver problems and women who are nursing, pregnant, or may become pregnant. To check for liver problems, you need simple blood tests. Tell your doctor about any heart problems and all other medications you are taking, or if you experience muscle pain or weakness, as they may be a sign of a rare but serious side effect. Along with diet and exercise, Catawit effectively lowers both high blood pressure and high cholesterol. 2 medicines, 1 pill. Ask your doctor if Catawit is right for you.
We are back as promised with some health news tonight, part 2 specifically of our series on how to improve medical care. As you know, the emergency room has become the doctor's office for way too many people, so some doctors are reviving a relic of the past, the house call, as a way to get to the patients directly. More from our chief science correspondent, Robert Bazell.
The move was good?
Oh, yes, it was.
Gwen and Emmett Wells retired to North Carolina after years of working in Detroit. She is a bookkeeper.
You're 160 over 80.
He on a Chrysler assembly line.
That's not one that you've been on.
They have multiple health problems, but they no longer make frequent visits to the doctor.
You been eating okay?
Yes. That's because a doctor visits them.
One goes down on the floor, the other one can't get the other one up because they're both in the wheelchairs.
Dr. Robin Ali is part of an experimental program at Duke that has cut hospital admissions by 68% and emergency room visits by 41% for people who have a hard time getting to the doctor.
How important is it to you that Dr. Ali comes to visit you in your home?
It's extremely important.
Yes, it is.
One of our big goals for this program is to help people to remain in their homes, remain as independent as they possibly can for as long as they can.
Just listening to your heart first.
Other parts of the program delivered care in small neighborhood clinics, even in schools like Southern High School. The patients here include 18-year-old Felder Shackelford, who sings in the school chorus and is not a fan of physicians' offices.
Well, truthfully, man, like many people, I really don't like doctors.
You coughing a lot?
Yeah.
Before the program, his asthma would force him to the emergency room.
Big breath in.
But now with care at the school clinic, the asthma is under control.
So who we have here?
Also, Shackelford is the father of 11-month-old Joshua.
How you doing, sweet pie?
Any other concerns you have as far as the baby and taking care of him?
And the school helps him and his girlfriend, LaShonda Kirkland, care for the baby.
We're really like a port in the storm.
Ann Derwin, the nurse practitioner, says the clinic sees most of the students in the school.
Darian, come on back, dear.
Because they feel safe there.
The kids know who they can trust.
The result is medical care for adolescents that keeps them healthy and out of the hospital.
I'll see you later.
Yep, I'll stop back by.
Robert Bazell, NBC News, Durham, North Carolina.
One of the greatest and best-known American authors has died. John Updike was a 2-time Pulitzer Prize winner for his series of novels about a character named Harry Rabbit Angstrom. Updike was literally a child of the depression from modest roots. After a full scholarship to Harvard, study at Oxford, and a stint at the New Yorker magazine, however, he entered America's tweed jacket upper crust and became fascinated by what became of the post-war U.S. Along the way, critics questioned his establishment view and his treatment of women in his books. He was a religious, church-going man all his life, yet his books were full of the sex and adultery and divorce of the era he chronicled.
It's kind of natural, I think, for a writer to try to make the characters think things and do things that he doesn't think or do. It's exciting that way. Write about somebody who agrees with you entirely, or even to try to figure out what you do believe, I think is a kind of a waste of time.
John Updike's career started in the 1950s, and he released over 50 books in his time. The New York Times today called him a kaleidoscopically gifted writer. John Updike died of lung cancer. He was 76 years old. When we come back here tonight, the words intended to be heard around the world. Who got the first interview with the new president and why?
My name is Jane, and I've got osteoporosis, but I'm an on-the-go woman. I've been active all my life. That's why I'm excited about Reclast, the osteoporosis treatment my doctor gives me once a year. My doctor says one IV of Reclast can help protect me while I'm on the go for 12 months. How? Well, Reclast helps to re-strengthen my bones to help make them resistant to fracture. And with Reclast, well, no other osteoporosis treatment is approved to help protect in more places. Hip, spine, even other bones.
You should not take Reclast if you're on Zometa, have low blood calcium, kidney problems, or you're pregnant, plan to become pregnant, or nursing. Take calcium and vitamin D daily. Tell your doctor if you develop severe muscle, bone, or joint pain, or if you have dental problems, as rarely job problems have been reported. The most common side effects include flu-like symptoms, fever, muscle or joint pain, and headache.
Do what I did. Ask your doctor about Reclast. Year-long protection for on-the-go women.
I never thought I would have a heart attack, but I did. You need to talk to your doctor about aspirin. You need to be your own advocate.
Be sure to talk to your doctor before you begin an aspirin regimen.
You take care of your kids. Now it's time to take care of yourself.
Is that the hearty chicken rotini diet?
It's the Manhattan clam chowder diet.
It's different.
It's the turkey noodle diet.
It's working for you.
Counting calories never tasted better because 25 of your favorite Progresso soups are 100 calories per serving.
Is that chicken and wild rice? Yes.
Critics are calling The Reader a provocative thriller full of sexual intensity. Time magazine raves Kate Winslet gives the best performance of the year, nominated for 5 Academy Awards, including Best Picture. The Reader, rated R, now playing.
Our new island-inspired entrees are here for you at Red Lobster, like Caribbean rock lobster and shrimp, and citrus rum shrimp and scallops, both wood-fire grilled to sear in the natural juices. For a limited time at Red Lobster.
Rebuilding America's economy will take energy from all sources. And here's some good news. Increased production of domestic oil and natural gas will also create well-paying jobs, drive our 21st century economy, and generate more than $1 trillion for federal, state, and local budgets. Money for better schools, public safety, and community needs. Maybe that's why most people support putting more of America's oil and natural gas to work for Americans. Log on to learn more.
We're back with NBC News In Depth. A lot of reporters who cover the White House were not happy to hear that Barack Obama's first television interview as president was granted to Al Arabiya, an Arab network. But the new president, the first president ever to use the word Muslim in an inaugural address, sent a message with the interview. And today that message was heard loud and clear. Our chief foreign correspondent Richard Engel has our report tonight from Baghdad.
I think that when you look at...
President Obama has taken the Muslim world by surprise, speaking with unexpected candor and respect.
My job to the Muslim world is to communicate that the Americans are not your enemy.
The choice of his first television interview was deliberate too. Al Arabiya, a moderate Saudi-owned network seen by millions in the Arab world. The president stressed his own Muslim background.
I have Muslim members of my family. I have lived in Muslim countries.
Which is why, he says, he will listen to both Israel and the Palestinians to resolve the Mideast conflict.
Because all too often the United States starts by dictating in the past on some of these issues, and we don't always know all the factors that are involved. So let's listen.
His new Middle East envoy, George Mitchell, arrived in Egypt today to listen and repair America's disastrous image in the Muslim world. Although the Bush administration spent hundreds of millions of dollars to win hearts and minds, including in 2004 launching Al Hurra, an Arabic TV station, today it's barely watched.
Good morning, I'm Karen.
And despite a public relations offensive by President Bush's aide Karen Hughes to the region, it was Bush's own choice of words that left a lasting impression.
This crusade, this war on terrorism, is going to take a while.
Mr. Obama's words are already having an impact.
To have the President of the United States say, we are here not just to dictate, we're here to listen, is something that I think is going to have ripples across the region.
But most welcomed in the Middle East tonight was a tone many here say has been lacking for the last 8 years in U.S.-Muslim relations. Respect. Richard Engel, NBC News, Baghdad.
And we're back in a moment here with the story of one American family that just got a whole lot larger.
A building story from Crestor.
While I was busy building my life, something else was building in my arteries. Dangerous plaque. It had been building up most of my life. My doctor said it's a progressive disease called atherosclerosis, and with my high cholesterol, she prescribed Crestor to help slow the buildup of plaque.
Along with diet, Crestor lowers bad cholesterol, raises good, and is approved to slow the progression of atherosclerosis.
Is Crestor right for you? Ask your doctor.
Crestor isn't for everyone, like people with liver disease or women who are nursing, pregnant, or may become pregnant. Simple blood tests will check for liver problems. Tell me about other medicines you're taking, or if you have muscle pains or weakness. That could be a sign of serious side effects.
Talk to your doctor about plaque buildup and find out if it's time for Crestor.
If you can't afford your medication, AstraZeneca may be able to help.
Help seal out tough food particles. Fix it and control with Food Seal. Enjoy all the foods you love.
Congratulations! You have just won $2 million! Yes!
Don't let the smell of trash interrupt your life. Let Glad Odor Shield trash bags take care of it. They neutralize odors. Glad Odor Shield. What smell?
Wait till you see how we've taken veggies and served them up in a great way. V8 soups from Campbell's. A full serving of vegetables in a soup so velvety and delicious, you won't be able to contain yourself. Campbell's V8 soups.
Did you know 1 in 3 men will face prostate issues?
1 in 3, really?
That's why One A Day Men's is a complete multivitamin with selenium, which emerging research suggests can help prostate health. One A Day Men's.
My sinuses are so congested, I can't think.
The pressure's keeping me up at night.
My sinuses are about to explode.
Introducing Sudafed PE Day and Night Dual Pack. Maximum strength relief of sinus pressure and congestion. 2 different tablets relieve sinus symptoms so you can get through the day and rest at night.
My sinuses are relieved.
I feel rested.
I feel like myself again.
Sudafed PE Day and Night. Unblock your head.
Next on your one source for local news at 7.
A first look at the plans for a baseball stadium in Miami. Why backers of the plan, though, are hoping Friday the 13th is a lucky day.
A major insurance company set to drop over $1 million Florida plans.
Plus, the heat is back, and we're not talking basketball.
And the company's looking to hire right now.
All coming up next at 7.
The birth of 8 children at one time to one mother is such a rare event. We weren't immediately sure of the term for it, but they are octuplets, in fact, and tonight they and their mother are apparently doing fine in a Southern California hospital 24 hours after the birth. The mother wishes to remain anonymous, but the story sure is out. Our report tonight from our chief medical editor, Dr. Nancy Snyderman.
Only the second known case of octuplets born in the United States. The babies were born at Kaiser Permanente Medical Center in Bellflower, California, just outside Los Angeles.
All the 8 babies, they had a very good night.
The mother had been hospitalized and monitored closely for almost 8 weeks, which doctors say allowed for an extraordinary delivery team to assemble. The delivery via C-section of 6 boys and 2 girls, ranging in weight from 1 pound 8 ounces to 3 pounds 4 ounces. The delivery team was not your average, with a stunning 46 doctors and nurses in attendance.
Each nurse approached the delivery table and would indicate her designation. The baby was then handed off and validated that this was baby A, B, etc.
But even that order didn't prepare them for the finale.
Lo and behold, we did find the 8th baby.
While born 9 weeks premature, doctors say they are all stable and are breathing on their own with the help of some oxygen.
The next few days are critical. Doctors will be watching for any heart or lung problems, seizures, and jaundice. And like any babies, they also need to eat and grow.
We are going to start feeding today on 4 of them, but very small amounts. And as they tolerate feeding, then that's the biggest test.
Doctors would not confirm the mother's identity nor the use of fertility drugs. They have said she is resting and can already tell the babies apart. Dr. Nancy Snyderman, NBC News, New York.
Wow, that is our broadcast for this Tuesday evening. Thanks for being with us. I'm Brian Williams. We hope to see you right back here tomorrow night. Good night.
America's best team has finally made it to the big game. Today, live on Super Bowl Sunday.
No one expected these guys.
Sunday, 9 Eastern on NBC.
Right now it's 7.
The ballpark battle steps up to the plate once again. Why this may be the beginning to a final stadium plan for the Marlins.
A heartbroken family shares their grief and thanks a community during their darkest hour.
A major insurance company announces its plans to pull out of the Sunshine State.
Plus, in an economy where more people are losing their jobs than finding new ones, we'll show you the places that are hiring.
And now, NBC 6 South Florida Nightly News.
Well, it's the big story tonight. After years of talking about it, we may finally be in the home stretch of the battle for a new baseball stadium here in South Florida.
A final vote is set, and now we're getting a first look at some of the final sketches of what could be the new home for the Florida Marlins.
Amber Sohn joins us live from Little Havana tonight. Amber, that's where the stadium would be, right?
That's exactly right, Joel. Friday the 13th could be the day that seals a deal for the Marlins' new and permanent home, as you said, right here on the site of the former Orange Bowl. And on that day, city and county commissioners will be voting on the finalized agreements that officials say do more to protect taxpayers.
The new $515 million Marlins Stadium is almost a done deal. The 5 remaining contracts have been negotiated, and they're now before the city and county commissioners.
This has not been an easy deal to negotiate. As a matter of fact, my voice is lit as it is because I've been yelling at David Sampson so much.
All joking aside, Miami-Dade County Manager George Burgess, who is fighting a cold, emphasized that the changes in the agreements work in the favor of taxpayers.
For example, the rent payments that the Marlins will make to government, to the county, increase every year.
The rent will go up by 2% each year. The Marlins are guaranteed to stay for 35 years, and extra costs of the project will be paid by the Marlins.
Taxpayers are protected from overruns on the road work, the sewers, the utility work around the stadium.
The new ballpark's renderings were released on Tuesday. To finance the 37,000-seat retractable roof stadium, the county will spend nearly $350 million in county taxes from hotel room revenue, the city of Miami $13 million, and the Marlins $155 million. The use of public funds for a private enterprise has been a controversial issue, and the legal fight to stop it was struck down by the Florida Supreme Court. Both mayors argue the project will create jobs, even though the construction contract was awarded to a non-local company, Hunt Moss.
They're going to be required to make sure that their subcontractors